Well, Satan can speak to God. So if you mean, does Satan have access to the presence of God? The answer is obviously yes. If you mean Satan has the Spirit of God working in his life, the answer is no.
Well, I would agree with you on that. However, if you say that God is simply omnipresent, therefore you could hear God's voice coming from heaven, God the Father's voice coming from heaven, although you say that Jesus is the Father on earth, and you explain that by saying, well, God's everywhere present at all times, and you are forced to conclude that God must also be present, given that explanation and definition, that he is also present in Satan himself.
No, because if I can say God fills heaven and speaks to the angels, at the same time God was incarnate in Christ, just because I say those same things, that has no relationship to God dwelling in the devil.
Could the omnipresence of God mean that everything is present before the Lord? Not in the definition that you've given, that God is everywhere present, but in fact everything is present before the eyes of the Lord.
Well, that's certainly true, but if I go to Africa, God's already there. If I go to heaven, God's already there. If I make my bed in hell, Psalm 139, God's already there. That's what omnipresence means. He's already there.
Does the Bible use the term omnipresent?
No, the Bible doesn't use the term omnipresence, but it says God is everywhere. It says if I take the wings of the morning, he's there. If I make my bed in hell, he's there.